Hello everyone. In this video you are going to understand IPv4 subnetting. You are going to understand what is subnetting, why it is done, what are its benefits and what are its drawbacks. Now subnetting is a process. Subnetting is the process in which large IP networks, large size IP networks are broken into smaller size subnetworks. So subnetting is the process in which large size IP networks are broken into smaller size networks. Now why subnetting is done? Why subnetting is done? We know that in IPv4, in IP version 4, the addresses are of 32 bits. Addresses are of 32 bits. So with 32-bit addresses, total address space in IPv4 is 2 raised to 32. Total address or total addresses available in IPv4 are 2 raised to 32. Now this number 2 raised to 32 is equal to 4294967 These many addresses are available in IPv4. And this number is very small as compared to the large number of internet users all over the globe. So it was identified in 1980s that it was identified that this IPv4 address space is getting depleted. And in IPv4 there are different classes of addresses. Class A IP address has got 8 bits in network ID part and remaining 24 out of 32, 24 bits are there in host ID part. This IPv4 address is having two level hierarchy. It has network ID and host ID. The class B IP address has got 16 bits in network ID part and remaining 16 bits out of 32 in host ID part. In class C, there are 24 bits in the network ID part and remaining 8 bits in the host ID part. Class D IP addresses are used for multicasting and Class E IP addresses are reserved by IETF, Internet Engineering Task Force, for research purpose. Now let us try to understand why subnetting is done. To understand why subnetting is done, let us consider an example. Let us say an organization is requiring 2000 addresses. It is requiring 2000 addresses, and if this organization is allocated with class B address, if class B address is allocated to satisfy the requirement of this organization, then with class B 2 raised to 16 networks are possible, because there are 16 bits in network ID part and remaining 16 bits in the host ID part. So if the organization is requiring 2000 addresses and it is allocated a block from class B address, then this organization would be allocated with 2 raised to 16 addresses, because this class B address is allocated to the organization, and in class B there are 16 bits in the host ID part, so the organization would be allocated 2 raised to 16 addresses. But organization is requiring only, but the organization requires only 2000 addresses, and 2 raised to 16 addresses are allocated to this organization. So 2 raised to 16 minus 2000 addresses would go waste. 2 raised to 16 minus 2000 is 65535 minus 2000. This difference is very large. It is equal to 63535. These many addresses would go waste if the organization is allocated with a block from class B address range. Now, if this class B address is subnetted, then it will have 3-level hierarchy. It will have network ID followed by subnet ID followed by the host ID. Now, to satisfy the requirement of 2000 addresses, we need to keep at least 11 bits in the host ID part. So without subnetting, there were 16 bits in the host ID part. So out of these 16 bits, 11 bits are retained in the host ID part. So remaining 5 bits will be pushed in the subnet ID part. And the network ID part will have fixed 16 bits. Now with this kind of subnetting, 2 raised to 11 addresses will be possible per subnet. And let us say this subblock or this subnetwork is now allocated to the organization requiring 2000 addresses. So the organization will now be allocated with 2048 addresses, and its requirement is of 2000 addresses. Now here wastage of IP addresses will be equal to 2048 minus 2000 is equal to 48 addresses. Now this wastage is of 48 addresses, and the previous wastage without subnetting was 65535 addresses. So this is one of the benefit of subnetting. It reduces the wastage of IP addresses and helps to overcome the IP address depletion problem. Now with this kind of subnetting done here, 2 raised to 5 subnetworks are possible, that is 32 subnetworks are possible. So here when this class B IP address is subnetted, 2 raised to 32 subnetworks are possible, and 2 raised to 11, sorry, not 2 raised to 32, 2 raised to 5. 2 raised to 5 subnetworks are possible, that is 32 subnetworks are possible, and 2 raised to 11, that is 2048 addresses per subnetwork are possible. So here the organization is allocated from one of the sub-block from the class B range. The original class B network is now subdivided into 32 subnetworks. 32 subnetworks. One of the subnetwork is allocated to that organization, requiring 2000 addresses. So this gives an example of subnetting in class B, and with this example we have seen that the wastage is of only 48 addresses as compared to the previous wastage of 65535 addresses. So this subnetting solves the problem of IP address depletion to some extent. So let us now write down all the reasons why subnetting is done. Why subnetting is done? Subnetting is done to use IP addresses efficiently. In the above example, you have seen that with subnetting, that IP addresses are used efficiently, because without subnetting, if the organization is allocated with large block, then there is more wastage of IP addresses. With subnetting, the smaller size networks are formed, subnetworks are formed, so it becomes easy to control the traffic. So subnetting is done to control the traffic. Traffic control becomes very difficult in large size networks. Subnetting is also done to solve IP address depletion problem. To solve IP address depletion problem. And subnetting is done to solve the broadcast problems. Now when subnetting is not done, the network is large size network. It becomes very difficult to identify which machine is having problem if the broadcast domain is large in large size network. With subnetting, the networks are of very small size, so broadcast domains are very small, and it becomes very easy to identify which machine is having problem in the network. So these are the reasons why subnetting is done. Now, what are the benefits of subnetting? Benefits of subnetting. Subnetting reduces the network traffic. So network traffic is reduced. This is one of the benefit of subnetting. And as the networks become smaller size networks in the subnetting process, the network management becomes simple. So simplified network management is the benefit of subnetting. And when subnetting results in smaller broadcast domains. So this is also the benefit of subnetting. In smaller broadcast domains, it becomes easy to identify which machine in the network is having problem. Now what are the drawbacks of subnetting? Drawbacks of subnetting. Subnetting did not really solve the address depletion problem. Subnetting did not really solve the address depletion problem. Why this is so? Just now we have seen the example of class B subnetting, and we have seen that after subnetting also few addresses are wasted. So this subnetting did not really solve the address depletion problem. And many organizations did not like to share the subblocks from class A and class B IP addresses. Many organizations did not like to share the subblocks from class A and class B IP addresses, because in subnetting the large size class A IP addresses are subnetted. Large size class A networks are subnetted into smaller size, and these smaller size networks are then shared among multiple organizations. Or large size class B addresses are subnetted into smaller ones and they are shared among multiple organizations. So some of the organizations did not like to share the subblocks from these class A or class B IP address networks. So these are the drawbacks of subnetting. Now let us revise in brief what we have studied in this lecture. What is subnetting? Subnetting is a process in which large IP networks are broken into smaller size subnetworks. Why it is done? It is done to simplify the network management, to reduce the control the traffic in the network, to use the IP addresses efficiently, and to avoid the wastage of IP addresses. What are the benefits of subnetting? Subnetting results in reduced traffic in the network. Subnetting results in simplified network management, and subnetting results in smaller broadcast domains. So these are the benefits of subnetting. And what are its drawbacks? Subnetting did not really solve the address depletion problem, and many organizations did not really like to share the addresses from class A and class B networks, IP networks. So this completes this explanation of IPv4 subnetting. Thanks for watching.